Peeps, we are back, and today we're here with a bit of a different kind of Halloween Horror Nights update. Rather than discussing breaking news, we're actually going to delve into the evolution of Jack the Clown, the returning icon for HHN 30 at Universal Orlando Resort. We're going to chat about what may be the inspirations for this year's event and this year's theme, and discuss the history of Jack himself. So stay tuned. Now, before you start thinking I'm a conspiracy theorist like this guy, I actually want to start with a reference made on a recent interview with Senior Director of Creative Development, Mike Aiello, and James Keaton, the performer who has embodied Jack since his creation. In this interview, Aiello and Keaton say, "To get real geeky and complex, I look at 30 as sort of a comic book annual. It's a collection of everything you love about Halloween Horror Nights and celebrating all these original characters and stories. For those that aren't familiar with the comic book analogy, an annual is a special extra issue published in a series. A lot of times annuals are out of continuity of the series, or sometimes they're standalone stories, which is a similar case with Jack this year. It's more of a celebration of this beloved character, so you see all three of his forms pop up throughout the event." Anyone who follows Michael Aiello or James Keaton on social media knows that they're huge comic book fans, much like myself. So the above commentary, along with a description of how Jack is represented in three forms this year, it reminded me of a recent comic book story. Years ago, in the DC comic book story Dark Side War by Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok, Batman gained the godlike powers of the Mobius chair, allowing him to know everything. And one of the first questions he asked of the chair was the true identity of the Joker. Now, it was revealed that there were, in fact, three Jokers. And last year, a series came out exploring the concept of the three Jokers, known as the comedian, the criminal, and the clown. What does this have to do with Jack and Halloween Horror Nights? Well, in the same interview I just mentioned, the evolution of Jack is referred to as three specific iterations: the clown, the ringmaster, and the rock star. Now, I'm not saying that there are in fact three Jacks. It's pretty clear from the article that these are the same Jack, just different evolutions of the character. The birth of Jack Schmidt and his brother Eddie was shown in the Body Collector's Recollections house at Halloween Horror Nights 25. Born in Shady Brook Asylum, Jack grew up into a carnival performer who was part of a circus troupe led by a man named Dr. Oddfellow. Unbeknownst to anyone, Jack was murdering people when he wasn't entertaining, and he confided in Oddfellow about it. Now, Oddfellow then betrayed Jack, murdered him, and kept his body inside of a jack-in-the-box for years until he was later accidentally released, becoming the murderous evil clown that we know and love today. And so, since then, we have had the three stages of Jack, at least the ones we know so far. In 2000, we were introduced to Clown Jack. After being released from his box, he exacted revenge on Oddfellow and then became the ringmaster of his own traveling circus, Carnival of Carnage, in 2017. 2017, we got to spend that time with Ringmaster Jack. Jack's Carnival of Carnage that year featured horror icons like Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface, and he changed his look for the first time. At HHN 25 in 2015, we saw the third and most recent evolution of Jack, the rock star, leader of Jack's maniacs. This Jack was darker, creepier, more war-torn than the previous iterations. Over this time, we've also seen an evolution of Jack's partner in crime, Chance, who took over the show in 2016 with a year dedicated to her being the main icon. It's been noted that this year, Halloween Horror Nights 30 will be an out-of-continuity type story, like I mentioned earlier. Not progressing to the next evolution of Jack, but instead celebrating the three iterations that we've seen. But will we see a preview of what's to come next? And what will the next iteration of Jack look like? Will we see more concepts inspired by the Joker? maybe a Grant Morrison inspired Jack or a Grey Capullo inspired Jack? And will we see the different iterations of Chance this year as well as Jack? Will her next iteration be inspired by Harley Quinn, like the previous ones have been? Or maybe by Joker's current partner in crime, Punchline? What do you think? Are you excited to see Jack again? Or maybe for the first time if you haven't been to Halloween Horror Nights in a few years? Do you think we'll get a preview of the next evolution of Jack this year? Leave us a comment down below. Make sure to like and subscribe for additional Halloween Horror Nights updates leading up to the event. Hit that little notification icon, the little bell icon, because it'll let you know when our next video comes up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.